Welcome, welcome, friends and beautiful yoginis and yogis and future leaders. We are now in one of our favorite parts of the program, and this is the part where we get together and we talk about making yoga accessible. So, there's a lot to cover throughout each of these modules. And I really just want you to take it easy, take it as it comes, learn as you grow, and do not overwhelm yourself. There is a lot to take in when it comes to making yoga accessible and adaptive, especially when we're working with our own unique physiology, and then also working with individuals that we're not very familiar with their bodies. And if we are doing any virtual type of work, then you're going to really want to encourage your student to have those cameras on so you can see what they're doing, how they're sitting in their chair, what if they're standing, if they're on the ground. You want to be able to work alongside with them and help them to overcome any of the challenges that they may be facing. All right. So this comes back to making it adaptive, and how we make it adaptive is by utilizing the tools around them. So if they have chairs, if they have the wall nearby, if they have a counter nearby, then you're going to want to encourage them to utilize those as their building blocks and their props to help them with deepening their practice or their asana, depending on where they're at. So when we go through the material, the first thing that I'm actually going to go through, because I like to start backwards and then move forward, is we are going to begin with going over the little quiz questions at the end. And this is just for you to write them down if you're listening to the presentation, or for those of you that are actually on, just to kind of write down these notes and to keep them in hindsight. So when you are going through the course material at this portion, that you're able to just immediately link back to what that question is, because these are going to be the very key nuggets that are going to help you progress through each of these kind of little chapters or little modules. Okay. And so the first thing I want you to recognize here, and just write these notes down, all right, is you want to know true or false. Again, these questions are going to consist of true and false questions for you. And so you're going to want to know if chronic pain is supported through the practice of yoga. All right. You want to know if in fact we can actually alleviate chronic pain through yoga. Please don't get mixed up with Ayurveda and yoga, because we do know that by just simply changing your diet, you're also able to alleviate chronic pain, because that also helps with anti-inflammatory herbs as well as exercises and modalities. So let yourself just be very innocent in this process and really just focus on now the yoga aspect of the physical aspect. And I shouldn't say physical because Ayurveda is also physical, but what I want you to consider is really thinking about it from the asana portion of the practice. Okay, so this portion will be really focused on the asana. All right, so does yoga help to alleviate chronic back pain? Yes or no? All right, what are the 3 ways that we make yoga accessible? What are 3 benefits of chair yoga? How can chair yoga be used for students with little or no physical movement? Is it even possible? What are the benefits of yogic breathing, mantra, social support? And are these examples of chair yoga benefits, or are we just making these up? And are these benefits for individuals with little or no physical movement? So keep that in consideration. Now we bring in some herbs related to the practice. So does ginger, for example, alleviate chemo-related nausea? What does ginkgo relieve in response to cancer-related fatigue? And does chair yoga support any of these benefits, such as sleep? Okay. Now we move into the aqua yoga portion. What are some of the aqua yoga benefits? Do they focus on bones? And does it cultivate any body length at all? Is it an area where people are less likely to get hurt? So just kind of keep those in mind. Let's move down to pool requirements, because you're going to want to practice safety measures within the pool. So think about those. And it's an open book test. So you're welcome to go back to these modules and continue to progress along your journey. Open two windows and kind of go back and forth is always a good best practice. And knowing what these requirements are. Do we need to have a certain temperature of water? Is there a certain height restriction in the water that is best for the practice? If we're going to bend our knees, do we want to be drinking and breathing the water? Or do we want it to be up at the chin level or just at the chest? Do we want it to be a drafty area where the pool is, or do we want it to be a warm environment? Do we want children in the class if this is a non-children class? Really think about this in consideration to distraction versus including children. Those of you that are going to be teaching children, then obviously you're going to want children in your class. However, if you're teaching to adults, do we want children around? And then notice the acoustics. Are you able to speak and be heard, or will you need to be mic'd up? And should there be a lifeguard or a caregiver on duty for the respective person that they are working with, or for the environment of the pool? And are there any props that we need? And if you need them or if you use them, it's really it's irrelevant, but it is also relevant in a way, because some pools will have those props for you and other pools will not. So just the consistency of having props in general, and consider that a wall is also a prop. Okay. Aqua yoga is ideal for prenatal and postnatal, yes or no? And now we scroll into the wall yoga area, the wall yoga portion. Is wall yoga, is it best for students with dizziness, vertigo, high blood pressure, or that have trouble getting up and down from the floor? And is wall yoga practice, can that be used with a chair, mat, blocks, straps, any other props? Or is it just predominantly with no props? How do we practice the wall yoga? What lineage? This might take you all the way back to the very, very beginning of your practice, so keep this in mind. What lineage uses the wall as a major tool in their practice? And you have 4 to choose from: Hatha Yoga, Kripalu, Jivamukti, or Iyengar. Give that a think. And lastly, what are the benefits of wall yoga? What are the benefits of wall yoga? So those are going to be the main questions on the Quizzy Quiz. And now I just want to kind of go over a high-level overview within each of the breakdown of the modules. So within each module, and I'm going back and making it all pretty for you all as we talk and as we grow together throughout the curriculum. But throughout the module, you're going to have the sun salutation breakdowns for the chair yoga. You'll also have a quick review, a very quick high-level introduction to chair yoga as well, to definitely watch. Now, the back of your Heart of Yoga has the appendix portion, and the appendix portion has some really, really lovely, I hate saying, I'm so sorry, has really, really lovely classes that you can utilize throughout your own personal sequential journey to create your own sequences for yoga. However, the portion that I do here for you are variations in and out of the chair, and then in the chair solely. So you have a few of the appendix yoga sequences that are applied and adapted for the chair modality. All right. And so you'll see those included within your module here in module F5.2. The other thing that you're going to also notice is you're going to see just a few different flows that come from the member site as well as from the YouTube. And I have them put together here. And some of the best ones that have had the most views and the most responses are the ones that I pulled together so that you can see how they're put together. A lot of playfulness is inside of these videos. I really am very lighthearted when I'm teaching, but I'm also pretty direct. So thinking about the way that you're cueing and how you're leading to a class of, say you're just teaching virtually, you're just teaching online, or you're teaching on YouTube, or you're hosting your own Vimeos and your own subscriptions, thinking about holistically the group that you're teaching to, respectively. Okay. And that has a 60-minute one. It has a 54-minute variation of it. It also has a 10-minute quickie. You'll see variations of chair yoga sun salutations A and B, as well as the sun salutations that have been modified. And then we also break down variations of, say, chair yoga. If you're doing chair yoga Virabhadrasana 1, you have all of the different postures broken down individually. Trikonasana, Parshavita Trikonasana, Uttita Trikonasana. You have Uttanasana, Dekasana, Yoga Gardhanasana, as well as Nataraj and Vrikshasana. So those are just a few high-level peaks that we go over each individual so that you can kind of manipulate them and adapt them, being in the way that if you have, for example, a chair with arms on it or a chair without arms on it, how do you adapt the postures so that your students can utilize whatever type of chair they're in at that moment? Okay. Then next you go into the aqua yoga modality. And like I said before, the aqua yoga is heavy. There's a lot of content. There's a lot of material. You will be expected to understand and know this prior to arriving for the in-person practicum. When we get in the water, we are balls to the wall, going straight into taking what we've learned online and applying it now in the practicum in person. Each of you will come and have the opportunity, if you are doing the in-person portion of the practicum, for just getting the certification for aqua yoga teacher training in juxtaposition to this teacher training. You will still get certified for aqua yoga here, but you will be required to send me a video of you teaching an aqua yoga class. Okay, so keep that in mind. In order to pass this portion of the modality, you do need to send me a video of you teaching aqua yoga and chair yoga. Okay, so that's for those of you that are not joining the in-person practicums. It's very important that I know that you have a very comprehensive understanding of aqua yoga because you are in the water, and this is an area that is very sensitive, especially for students that have some aversion to being in the water. They will be a little bit afraid, and they want to know, they want to trust you with their little bodies in your hands. So be very mindful of who you have in your classes, because they want to know that you are very well versed in being able to take this practice into the water and address their needs. There is nothing like having a person that's in a wheelchair stand for the very first time in the water and get a sense of their own holistic well-being. It is very emotional and very powerful. And to see them standing on their own 2 feet without the support of their chair is huge. So we want to make sure that you are comfortable with getting into the water and being able to teach students that have this type of modality or mobility. And so each of these practices are done for you to really curate and go over, get yourself into a pool. This is a really great time to, bug your buddy to use their pool, or give yourself a little mini vacation and set up a little tripod over at the pool and video yourself doing these practices. I will guarantee you it will be extremely transformative when you actually see how your body is in the water versus what it's like on land. It is very, very powerful. And so with that, you want to take the Aqua Kriya Yoga's suggested sequences, and I have put the level 1 PDF in there for you so you can manipulate and use it as you like to create your own sequence. And you'll also notice the basic flows you will have a sun salutation with no props, and you will have a sun salutation A with the props in the water. You'll see also the modifications and breakdowns. You'll see a flow practice along, in the pool or in the hot tub. All right. And you'll also notice the different training modalities within the second section. And there's another PDF that's in there for module 2. And then Surya Namaskar B, how it's explained, and then utilizing Surya Namaskar B at the wall and Surya Namaskar B utilizing a noodle. Those are always fun. And everybody loves to use a noodle. Okay. So, and if you have some sassy ladies like I have, when you get that noodle in between their thighs and they have some comments, boy, does it crack up the whole class. It gets really, really provocative at times, but it's well worth the laughs and the joy. Now, lastly, we go over the wall yoga adaptations. Wall yoga is phenomenal because you do not have to utilize the floor at all to come up and down. This is a wonderful practice, a very wonderful practice for our students that have vertigo, that have dizzy spells, that have high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, those that cannot bring their head below their heart. Utilizing the wall is pivotal for adapting and making yoga accessible for their practice, because then they are able to find that inner strength. They're able to work with themselves. They're able to curate their practice and really provide a very strong, really strong way of being able to practice along with a class without having to go up and down. They can still do chaturanga. They can still do variations of uttanasana. They can still do variations of the sun salutations. They can do all the warrior poses, all the side series, all the balancing. So the only things they don't do is anything on the floor. But if you think about it, if you were laying on the floor, it's the same flat surface as if you're on a wall. So anything that you do on the floor, you can do on the wall. The only thing you can't do is a full bridge pose, right? Can't do a full bridge pose because that would require both feet on the wall. However, if you have a chair, you can put the chair up against the wall and they can put their feet on the legs of the chair, lift their chest up, reach back to the back of the chair or push their hands into the wall, open up their chest, and now they are in full bridge pose. So there are ways, when there's a will, there's a way to adapt and modify the poses so the students can get the benefit of each of them. Okay. So that is my gift to you, and that is your gift to them. So please be sure to adapt and modify throughout and how you like individually. And again, this is an evergreen course. There will be a ton of more classes and material that will be added to this forevermore. So you will be able to really curate and come in monthly to check and see what are some new adaptations and modalities that you'll be working with in this particular module. Okay, that, my friends, is it for today. All right, go back through, watch this video, pause wherever you need to pause it, and give yourself enough time to fully digest and immerse yourself into all of this. Okay, my heart to yours. I love you very much. All right, I'm going to love you and leave you. And if there's anything, any questions that you have whatsoever, please, 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 please send it to me. So that way I am able to upload it here, and also comment. Okay, feel free to comment within the course, or go straight to the Facebook group and post your question. Okay, and that way I can see it, and that way I can answer it. All right, let's get it done. Let's make it happen. Love, 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 love you so much. Namaste. Goodbye now.